The 1930s in Cleveland, Ohio, were marked by the Great Depression, a time of economic despair, widespread unemployment, and social unrest. Amidst this bleak backdrop emerged one of America's most chilling unsolved murder cases, the story of the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run, also known as the Cleveland Torso Murderer. Over a span of 4 years, between 1935 and 1938, this unknown assailant terrorized the city with a gruesome series of murders that remain unsolved to this day. Kingsbury Run, an industrial area in Cleveland, became the hunting ground for the killer. It was a rough neighborhood filled with makeshift shantytowns, populated by homeless people and transient workers. The area's transient nature made it easy for people to disappear without much notice, providing the killer an ideal environment to operate. The killer's victims, numbering at least 12, were often people living on the fringes of society. They were primarily men, though two women were also among the identified victims. Due to the transient lifestyles of many victims, several remained unidentified. The hallmark of the murders was the brutal dismemberment of the bodies, with many being decapitated and disposed of in various parts of Kingsbury Run. The first known victim, identified as Edward Andraschi, was discovered in September 1935. His body was found near Kingsbury Run, decapitated and stripped of clothing. Another body was found nearby, also decapitated and with similar mutilations. These discoveries marked the beginning of a terrifying pattern. Cleveland's safety forces were put under immense pressure to solve the case, and the investigation fell to Eliot Ness, the city's public safety director. Ness, famous for his role in taking down Al Capone, was tasked with stopping the Mad Butcher. Despite his reputation, the killer proved elusive. The investigation faced numerous challenges. Forensic science in the 1930s was rudimentary, and the lack of DNA analysis or advanced techniques made identifying victims and linking evidence to the perpetrator difficult. Furthermore, the victims' marginalized status meant there were few witnesses or leads. Adding to the frustration, the killer's methodology was both meticulous and chaotic. While the dismemberments suggested a degree of surgical knowledge, the disposal of body parts seemed random, making it hard to establish patterns. Police received hundreds of tips, but none led to concrete results.
Eliot Ness's involvement
Brought new energy to the case. In 1936, after the discovery of additional victims, Ness conducted a dramatic raid on the shantytowns of Kingsbury Run. He ordered the demolition of makeshift shelters and evicted hundreds of people. This move was controversial, seen by some as an attempt to displace potential witnesses or suspects, and by others as a desperate measure to deter the killer. Despite Ness's efforts, the murders continued. The last known victim, identified as Rose Wallace, was found in 1938. After this, the killings seemingly stopped, leading to speculation about the killer's fate. Over the years, several suspects have been proposed. One of the most notable was Dr. Francis Sweeney, a physician with surgical training and a history of mental instability. Sweeney was subjected to intense interrogation, including a polygraph test, which he reportedly failed. However, there was insufficient evidence to charge him. Another theory suggests the killer may have been a transient himself, moving on after 1938 and continuing his crimes elsewhere. Some believe the killer died or was institutionalized, explaining the abrupt end to the murders. The case of the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run remains one of America's most infamous unsolved mysteries. It highlighted the vulnerability of marginalized communities and exposed the limitations of law enforcement at the time. Eliot Ness's reputation suffered due to his inability to solve the case, overshadowing his earlier successes. To this day, the identity of the Mad Butcher remains a topic of speculation and intrigue. The gruesome nature of the crimes and the mystery surrounding the killer's identity have cemented the case in true crime lore. Books, documentaries, and podcasts continue to explore the case, ensuring that the Mad Butcher's dark legacy endures. The story of the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run is a chilling reminder of the darker side of human nature. It's a tale of fear, frustration, and the enduring quest for justice. While the killer's identity may never be known, the case serves as a haunting chapter in the history of American crime. Remember to like and follow for more intriguing true crime content. Your support helps uncover the untold stories of history's most fascinating mysteries.